Chapter 2, Review 2, Practicing Creating More Tables and Forms. I'm in the wrong chapter here. Chapter 2. Review 2. Enable, save as, add our last name, enable again. Okay, so this database has one table, 2 queries, and 1 form. To start out, we are going to actually create a new table in order to enter some client. So we're going to create a client table. So we're going to the Create tab, Table Design. Our first field name will be Client ID. And the data type is going to be auto number. I'm going to type the letter A and that automatically put it in. And then I'm going to hit my tab key. The next field is last name, short text, and we're going to change the short text field size here. We don't need 255 characters, and that ends up using taking up a lot of space in our database. So I don't think anybody's name is longer than 75 characters, so I'm going to type that. Then I'll come back and use my mouse and click up here, first name. Short text is kind of the default, so that's usually what comes up. And I'm going to bring my mouse down here again and change the field size. And I'm going to double check Blackboard, I think. Let's see if I can find it. Where are you? Scroll down. Let's see. Oh, so the first and last name to 25 and 74 for the email field. Okay, so we don't need even that much. So I'm going to click back up here in this field. It doesn't matter if I click here or here or here. Down here at the bottom, it's showing me the field properties for the field that is selected up here. So I'm going to switch this to 25, and then I'll click in the first name field and switch it to 25. And then we'll add the email field, also short text, and this one will be 75. That needs more characters. And the final field is schedule. And this one we're going to create a lookup wizard. So there's 2 ways you can use the lookup wizard. You can type in your own field, and that's what we're going to do right now. Or you could actually use a field from a different table and have it look up from that other table. You might create a table just to create lookup fields in your other tables. So we're going to click on the data type pull down and choose lookup wizard. And I want the lookup query to get values from another table. No, we're going to type ours in. So we're going to click down here and say next. And in the first choice will be orientation. And then don't hit your enter key. If you hit your enter key, it's going to go to the next. So you can either use your mouse or use your down arrow to go down to the next one. Daily. 2 times a week and 3 times a week. And now we'll click next. What would you like for your lookup field to be called? Schedule is fine. I would, let's see, limit it to the list. It doesn't tell us, but this again, so that people can't just type in anything they want. Maybe you want people to make more than one choice and you would click on here, but we don't, and we'll say finish. And then you'll notice that here it says short text again, so don't let that fool you. When we go to our table, it will be appropriate. And down here we could actually change the field size if we wanted to 50. I didn't put that in the directions, but if you want to, I don't think any of these choices have more than 50 characters. And now we can save our table. So again, if I just try to quit out of it, it'll ask me, do I want to save the changes? Yes. And we're going to name this client ID table. And we'll say OK. Oh, and it's reminding me about a primary key, and I believe, do you want to create a primary key? I think I forgot to do that. So I'm going to open up my table and go back to design view. Oh, and it did it for me. So it asked me if I wanted to, and I said yes, and it automatically chose the first field. So that was step 5. I missed that. I should have assigned the primary key up here by clicking on it. But it's all good. I'm going to switch over to datasheet view just so you can see what your table looks like. Remember, we use auto number here. So when we start putting records in, we'll start right here at the last name. And then if you come over to your schedule and you click in that field, you'll notice there's your pull down with your choices. And if we make this a little bit bigger, we can see what our choices are. So I'm going to close this table. And it's asking me if I want to save it because I made this field bigger. I'll say yes. Now we're going to create a form based on this table. Again, an easy way to do that is to select your table in the navigation pane, create, and just click right on form. And it opens up in layout view. Now it's asking us to switch to design view, so that we can make these fields shorter. I just want to show you quickly, we can also do that here in layout view. We can just click on one and they will all kind of move along together when one is selected. I'm going to move this back actually so that when we go to design view, again, I'm going to the bottom right corner and clicking on the design view icon. Here's a ruler. So again, when we click one of these, they should all go together. I'm sorry, that's moving the page. We don't want to do that. We just want to move the fields and to the 5-inch mark. And up here we can see this is the 5-inch mark. So in design view, you have a few more tools to help you with your layout choices. And now we'll switch to form view. Again, I just come right down to the bottom right corner and the first icon here says form view. And now that we're in form view, we can add records. So we're going to add 3 records. Again, remember, we're not going to be able to type in the auto number field. So we'll start right here in the last name field. I'm using my tab key to move through. And I am actually going to copy this because I don't want to have to type it 2 more times. So I'm going to copy that information. And this schedule here is orientation. I'm going to hit my tab key and that will move me through. And I'm going to tab again to type in the last name of the next person, who is now when I type, and then I'm going to do a paste, Control V, so just make it a little bit easier to type in those email addresses. And this person is Daily. Hitting my tab key, which brings up a new blank record, and we'll put in the last person. And Control V, Daily, close the form. And do we want to save changes? Yes. And we haven't saved our form yet since we created it, so that's why it's asking us if we want to save. It's not asking us why we want to save because we entered records. So it's asking us because we haven't saved our form yet, and this is the name we'll use, which is fine, and we'll say OK. And that's it for Review 2.